Hey guys, welcome to Vito Vlogs. Today we're going to be making potato bread known as aloo roti.
Okay, so with this, we're basically making a roti, which is like a flatbread made with a seasoned potato filling. This is really, really yummy. It's really, really easy to make. There are two parts to making this. We have to make the dough first, and then we have to make the filling. So let me just get first things first. Wash our hands. So we have roughly 12 potatoes boiled and peeled. And Asna's gonna come over here and Asna's gonna just help me mash them up, Asna. So in the meantime, I have, this is called Atta. It's South Asian flour, I guess. You can buy it at your grocery stores and it's readily available. There are various brands. The ones I use is Golden Temple. In the meantime, what we take is we take the Atta and we have some salt. So this is 10 measured cups of Atta, okay? I normally don't measure it. I normally just know what I need. But for someone who's making for the first time, we're going to go through it slowly. So we've added roughly a tablespoon of salt in this. Okay, I'm just going to give it a stir just with my finger, just make sure everything is incorporated. La, la, la. My Atta looks good. Okay. Now, so the Atta that you make, the dough that you make, you can make it the night before. In fact, I suggest making it the night before, because once it's made, you put it in the fridge and you kind of let everything settle in the gluten form. And so all you really need next for this is some water. So I'm gonna measure out, I've never measured out how many cups I need. So I make a small well with my hand in the middle of the dough and I'm just gonna pour in, let's just say, so 10 cups of Atta. Let's just pour in the first 2 cups. And the way you make this, you kind of keep stirring in the well and keep adding flour into it. Stir the well. Try to contain the water in the well, I guess, for the most part. It doesn't have to. Eventually the walls break down. We're gonna keep the center of this bowl, platter, I don't know, we call it broth. I don't know what it's called. So again, so I had 2 cups. So now I need more, so let's add 2 more. So that's now 4 cups. So 4 cups are going. My kids love rolling their hands in this and making a mess. And that's okay. That's how they learn. And that's part of the fun. The easiest things to make are the funnest to make. The bigger the mess, the more the fun. So now the dough is starting to come together, and what we're looking for is like big clumps, kind of dry, we're not looking for a soggy mess. It is sticking to my hand. We're just gonna keep, so now I'm not adding more water yet. What I'm doing is, you okay? I'm adding the flour to the wet mixture, trying to get it as dry as I can, okay? That's good. Now I'm gonna add some more water. So that was 4 cups before, 5, 6. So now I've used 6 cups of water in my Atta. If you use all-purpose flour to make this, you're gonna get a totally different type of roti. So I would suggest going and buying a small bag of the Atta. Atta is spelled A-T-T-A. That is a phonetic spelling that you will find in the grocery stores. So now it's less dry. It's starting to become still sticky. It's still going to be sticky. It's moist, but you can see that it sticks to itself. It's starting to form somewhat of a wet dough of its own. See? Okay, so it's quite sticky. Oh, so now that we're at the end, if I put another cup, it's going to be too much. As you can see, there's not that much left. So I'm just going to add a small, I don't know, let's just say less than a quarter cup, just a bit, just a little sprinkling, just to moisten it, get the dry bits incorporated. Okay, so I'm just scraping off the bottom, trying to get it all into the wet mixture. For this purpose, for making the aloo roti, which means potato bread of aloo roti of potatoes, is a little transliteration, I don't know. But that's what it's called. All my friends love this. It doesn't matter if they're Pakistani or not. Everyone that I've had, They can be from whatever part of the world. They love this. So you can see it's all come together. It's a nice thick lump. And so now we're gonna just knead it. You don't want this to be wet, super wet or super sticky. It should not be that sticky anymore. You see it doesn't really stick to my hand. We're just gonna knead it. And the kneading allows for, again, the gluten to form. And the more you knead it, the more you turn and knead, the stiffer the bread will get. You want it to be not too soft, sorry, as I was saying before, because you want to be able to have control over it. So here's our ball of dough. We're gonna have to cover it. So I'm gonna put it into a bowl, a plastic container. Just you can leave it here. Now we're actually going to put in the spices that are required to make this potato filling. For those of you who already make it, you might have your own variations. This is the way I make it. These two items, all the wet, fresh items, will not go in until the time that I'm ready to prepare. So if you're making this the morning of or the day before, just put in your seasoning, mix up your potatoes, put them in a sealed container, put them in the fridge. At the time that you're actually going to make and serve is the time that you add in these fresh ingredients. The reason is because if you put them in the day before and you package it away, it starts to create like excess water and your potatoes become really soggy. So now we're going to actually make the flatbread. Need some dried flour, again, and a rolling pin. And so I took out some of that potato mixture, I added the onions, you can see them in there, and that coriander. For one person, you need a good, let's say, like a baseball size, I would call it maybe. You're going to take 2 small balls. So I'm just pulling apart 2 small balls. These balls are the size of, I would say, a golf ball. Okay, we'll take another one. Okay, I'm gonna do that again, okay? So from the hot dog mixture, we're gonna take out 2 balls. These balls, I would say, are probably the size of a golf ball. And the way you get them to get round, the way I've done this one, I'll do it this one and I'll show you. See, is you're gonna put in your hand and you're gonna just take your bottom fingers and roll from the outside in, turn, outside in, turn, outside in, turn. Okay, so remember I've been doing this for years, night and day and night, so don't be upset. So my pan's heating up, so now I'm going to use my thumb and palm just to flatten it out. I use a flour whenever I find like it's sticking. I'm going to do that to both of these pieces. So I'm basically prepping my pieces to put the dough inside. You guys are going to love this. This is actually really yummy. And it's not as hard to make. And even if, let's just say you don't want to do this dough part, and you're like, I can't deal with this. You can just have the potato mixture on its own. You just dip it in some egg or some breadcrumbs if you don't want the egg. And just pan fry them. And they're like potato patties, right? Really flavorful one. Not like the cheese and potatoes that I'm sure you've tried before. These are really yummy potato patties. You can have some chutneys on the side, some ketchup, some mayonnaise, whatever you like to dip your stuff in. Okay, so now this is good to go. So here's my tennis ball. Yes, that's what I said, baseball. So I'm gonna put it in the middle. I'm gonna kind of flatten it out a bit, use my hand, and I'm gonna cover it with the second one, okay? I'm gonna seal the edges, okay? As best as I can. Carefully pick it up. I'm gonna push it back in the dried flour, and I'm gonna just flip it over. Just make sure, and the reason I'm doing this is because before I lay it back on my counter, I wanna make sure it doesn't stick. So now it's on there, and I'm gonna gently, slowly, just roll it out. And you'll see it's rolling, rolling. At a certain point, depending, I guess, on your proficiency as well, I might want to check to make sure it's not sticking. I feel like mine's starting to thin out a bit, so I'm gonna gently flip it over and just again add some dried flour to make sure that it still doesn't stick, to make sure the non-stiction of it, that's not even a word. So I'm gonna keep going, rolling. Okay, it's starting to stick now, so carefully pick it up. If you start having holes and tears, don't worry, just try to catch it in time. I'm just using the edge of the rolling pin, just trying to get the edges. You don't want them too thick. You want them like, I don't even know how thin. You just want it thin. You don't want them thick. Okay. Now my pan is nice and hot, so I'm going to carefully pick it up and I'm going to put it onto my pan. Okay, and so now this is gone. What you would normally serve this with, you can have it on its own. That's absolutely fine. What it traditionally goes with is some cool yogurt. My kids like it plain yogurt. Yogurt is very common in South Asian cuisine. We believe in that yin and yang. Some of the spices have a heating effect in our body, so the yogurt counterbalances that with cooling. And if it's too spicy for you, the yogurt again cools you down in general. Potato bread with a thing, so I'm gonna just see if I can somehow break it. So I just took it off. Yeah, so the filling's all in there. It's really hot. Yeah, and so what you normally do is just take a piece, if I can get it, and you would, it's too hot, dip it, and you're good to go. But it actually tastes really good. I hope you guys enjoy it. Again, please like and subscribe, and I would love your feedback for any other content that you might like to see. Thank you very much for watching. We love you, and we hope to see you soon, okay?